What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to talk about Scottsdale, Arizona. People want to know, what's up with Scottsdale? Tell us more about Scottsdale. And after a little bit of research and also having grown up basically in North Scottsdale, I'm going to go ahead and drop some history, some things to do, and some information about living and cost of living and just general things about Scottsdale. If you're new to living in Arizona and you want to discover the state alongside all of us, go ahead and subscribe to Living in Arizona, and let's go ahead and dive right in here. So, where does Scottsdale get its name? I mean, that's not the most important thing, but hey. In 1894, after founder Winfield Scott, so it's named after Winfield Scott, just in case you didn't know that, now you know. It's in the eastern part of the Maricopa County. Before it was called Scottsdale, it was inhabited by the Hohokam people. So if you ever go to the spring training game at Hohokam Park, now you know why it's called Hohokam, because that was the original peoples who inhabited the area of what is modern day Scottsdale. From 300 BC to 1450 AD, the ancient civilization farmed the area and developed a complex network of canals and irrigation. And so it was actually a pretty advanced canal system. And today, you obviously know about the Central Arizona Project, which is a canal that runs water all the way down from the Colorado River down to Phoenix. And you also have Salt River Project. So Phoenix really has its roots in canals all the way back to the ancient peoples who, I guess you could say, the colonialists or the Westerners, the Europeans, when they arrived, learned something from the inhabitants of the land, right? So there was a mysterious disappearance of the Hohokam people around about 1500 AD, which obviously was before any European ever showed up. But it's just interesting to know that. But before it was settled by Europeans, Scottsdale was a Pima village known as Vase es Vasoni, meaning rotting hay. Obviously, why would it be called rotting hay? Well, it's a very arid place. Things rot down there. I mean, not a lot grows down there, but if it's a tumbleweed or whatever, it dries out because it's drought. There's drought there. So, anyways, let's go ahead and dial this in a little bit further and talk about the establishment of current modern day Scottsdale, right? So, cost of living. Overall, Scottsdale is more expensive than all of Arizona. And we're talking significantly more expensive than the rest of Arizona. For example, average median home cost in Scottsdale is between $450,000 to $500,000. The average median home cost in the state of Arizona is $239,000. So you can see that Scottsdale is almost double the price of the state of Arizona's median home price. So they call it the South Beach of the desert, right? That's kind of the nickname. I mean, it's got this very upbeat vibe, especially in Old Town, downtown Scottsdale, and then some of the other areas around Scottsdale. It just has that upbeat vibe, right? So as far as other things besides housing and apartments being more expensive, everything else is pretty comparative. The bus fare is about the same. The utilities are about the same. The healthcare costs are maybe a little bit more in Scottsdale, but nothing to write home about. Grocery costs are not outrageously expensive unless you go to, like, say, Trader Joe's or AJ's Fine Foods. You might pay that premium price for that organic quality. But for the most part, you go to Fry's or Safeway in Mesa, you go to Safeway at Scottsdale, it's going to be basically the same price. Like I said, the transportation is basically the same. I mean, if you wanted a studio apartment, you're looking at around about $1,130 in Scottsdale. And if you were to get one, say, in Phoenix, you could get one as cheap as around about $600 in Phoenix. That's a studio, right? If you're looking for a one-bedroom to rent, $1,470. Phoenix is about $750 to $800. That's Phoenix, right? But in case you're wondering, the national average for a studio is $890. The national average for a one-bedroom is $990. So Phoenix is less than the national average, but Scottsdale is more than the national average. But bear in mind, it's all part of the Phoenix metro area. Scottsdale is considered a part of metropolitan Phoenix. Two-bedroom apartment in Scottsdale is going to cost you a rent of about $2,000. In Phoenix, it's $1,020. Nationwide is about $1,240. All right. So if you wanted a three-bedroom, if you're looking at a three-bedroom, it might be a home at that point, right? $3,030 in Scottsdale, and then about $1,660 in the national average $1,550 in Phoenix. So three-bedroom in Phoenix, $1,550. And if you wanted a four-bedroom, which is, assuming you have three kids or, two kids in an office in a master bedroom, in Scottsdale, it's going to run you about $3,640 on the average, okay? That's pretty expensive. I mean, we're talking, those are almost California rates right there, right? Los Angeles, San Diego rates. San Francisco's a little bit more. Well, Los Angeles is pretty expensive. The whole coast of California is expensive. But Phoenix is $1,860 for a four-bedroom. National average, $1,910. So I hope that puts into the perspective the cost of living. If you wanted to know some of the things to do as far as like when your friends and family come into town, it depends on who you're asking. But if it's TripAdvisor's got Old Town Scottsdale up there on the top of the list. Taliesin West, which I've never actually been to Taliesin West. I've definitely been to Pinnacle Peak. That's number 2. Old Town Scottsdale, number 3. McCormick Stillman Station Railroad Park. So that's McCormick Park. I used to go to that when I was a kid. I liked it because of the railroad. Then you have McDowell Sonoran Preserve. You have Butterfly Wonderland. Western Spirit Scottsdale's Museum of the West. That's number 8. Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall. That's number 9. That's a pretty nice mall. It's a little bit old by this point, but it's still pretty good. And then you have Penske Racing Museum, Odyssey, Aquarium, Dolphinaris, Arizona. Believe it or not, they have dolphins in an aquarium in Scottsdale. Yes, on the Indian reservation. You have Salt River Fields. Spring training is pretty popular out there, actually, in Scottsdale and all across the valley, which is going to be coming up here in March. If you don't know what spring training is, half the league goes to Florida and half the league comes to Arizona to play spring training baseball and take advantage of our warm weather in March. And Scottsdale's got, I believe the Giants used to play down there and maybe another team. So, you've also got Octane Raceway, Consanti Foundation, Lost Dog Wash, Kierland Commons. Kierland Commons is it's an outdoor shopping area. It's up there in north of Scottsdale Road, just south of Bell Road. I think that's up and coming. I mean, if you're going to do some shopping, you probably might consider that over even Fashion Square. So, and then you've got a casino in the area called Talking Stick Resort Casino. You've got Westworld of Scottsdale. And that's really basically it. Scottsdale supposedly has a canal system. They call it the Scottsdale Waterfront. I'm not going to say that it's anything to really write home about, but whatever. We'll play the game. It's nothing like San Antonio's waterfront, if you know what I mean. And so you can also go on to scottsdaleaz.gov, and that's going to have some information about. It's a basic website. It's not really. You're not going to walk away from there saying, "Wow, what an amazing website," right? But it's a resource. If you wanted to visit the Scottsdale visit tourism guide, right? That's visitarizona.com and just search Scottsdale. They will have that. If you're looking for real estate, I can go ahead and drill down on realtor.com, zillow.com, Trulia, just to put into perspective some of the homes on here. You've got this one going for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet, $649,000. This house in downtown Phoenix or in Mesa, say, is a $250,000 or $300,000 house. In Scottsdale, it's a $649,000 house, just to put that in perspective. Then you've also got some high-end real estate for those of you who are, big ballin', right? $2.2 million home on 102nd Place in Scottsdale. That would be 102nd Street, thereabouts. Remember, Phoenix is on a grid. Streets on the east, avenues on the west. You can get some pretty dang good views up in Scottsdale, especially up in north. You got Troon, you've got Pinnacle Peak, then you've got DC Ranch, where they just start climbing up the foothills, and you get these pools with these views of Phoenix. You can see the lights of Phoenix at night. In the daytime, you can see all the beautiful views also. And those homes typically those are $1 million homes. I mean, if you're trying to move into something like that, be ready to pay $1 million. If you want to live on a golf course in Troon or something, you're looking at $1 million home. Maybe in Fountain Hills, you can get it a little bit more affordable, but we're talking, 800,000 to $1.5 million on a golf course really is the average price you're going to be looking at. And it goes up, like I said. I mean, we've got $2 million homes on here. And then, so let's see, some other things to consider about Scottsdale. The people, right? The people have, I mean, I didn't really see an issue with the people, but they do get a reputation of being called Snotsdale. Snobby, Snotsdale. That's kind of a reputation that Scottsdale's got. I mean, it's very common to be driving down Scottsdale Road, and in some areas, all you'll see is BMWs, Mercedes, and, very occasionally will you see a car that's not a luxury vehicle. I mean, the cars out there, it's like driving down Rodeo Boulevard. I mean, you're going to be seeing, you'll see some Lamborghinis, you'll see some Ferraris. I mean, yeah, there's some big tycoons out there. As far as the airport goes, Scottsdale Airport is not you can't get commercial flights out of Scottsdale that I know of. But, a lot of times that's just the really wealthy people flying their Learjets, their Gulfstreams into Scottsdale Airport. At Scottsdale Airport, it's not going to be like Sky Harbor. And the only other airport in Phoenix that's allowing commercial travel that I know of is Williams Gateway out here in Mesa. So really, if you're trying to move to Scottsdale, the thing you're going to want to know is that the home prices you're gonna get more quality. It's more luxurious, but outside of that, it's gonna be the same really around all of the other suburbs. It's just you're paying for the property value. So the property value is what's gonna get you. The people, like I said, I mean, they're a little bit snotty. They've been called, but then again, if you compare people in Scottsdale compared to other places, I think you're gonna end up saying, hey, they're not too bad. They're pretty cool. It's not that bad. They're not gonna not talk to you because they're too snotty. But that's Scottsdale in a nutshell. If there's anything else you guys wanted to add, drop a comment about Scottsdale if I missed something. The population of Scottsdale right now is 217,000 people. I think it's making it the 6th largest city in the state. So Scottsdale is the 6th largest city in the state. 217,000 people. So that's some interesting stuff. It's all part of the Valley of the Sun, in the Salt River Valley, in the Sonoran Desert, for those of you who wanted to know that stuff. And I can make other videos, but this is to answer the question of what's going on in Scottsdale. And we'll see you guys next time. And thanks to everyone who's been liking and subscribing.